Hi, y'all. This is Lacey Taylor.
And this is Ivy McMillan.
And we are Booyall Podcast, a comedy podcast about the unexplained and the unbelievable.
We bring you stories of ghosts, ghouls, goblins.
We haven't covered any goblins yet.
No, but we should. We have talked about haunted high schools with ghost pep rallies, a hairdresser turned New Orleans voodoo queen, and ghosts who solve their own murders.
That's right. Tune in every other Monday on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. And come get your ghost on with us.
Bye, y'all.
Boo, y'all. Bye, y'all.
Oh shit, we don't have a theme song.
Oh shit, you're right. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, like, do we have time to buy something?
No, we just have to riff.
We're gonna just riff it? Oh shit, it's the Nostalgic Front, a podcast from Patrick and Ream. We like movies, TV, and games. Junk food, juice boxes, forgotten things.
Oh wow, that was adequate.
Yeah, that was like pretty good.
Yeah, are we just gonna use it for every episode?
I think we should. I think we have to.
Thank you for listening to the Nostalgic Front. I'm Brandon Ream.
And I am Patrick Hasty.
Hey, Patrick, how we doing today?
How's it going?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's going great.
Another fantastic fun size coming down the internet pipe hole.
Yeah, pipe hole. Ooh,
Yeah.
gross. That sounds gross, but I like it.
Yeah. Really?
I mean, not in a bad way.
I work with pipe holes all day.
You do.
Mhm.
What's your favorite pipe hole?
One that isn't full.
Mine's my mouth.
Really?
Well, you know, I puff on a bubble pipe or maybe a tobacco pipe.
I like those
Maybe
bubble
a bong.
pipes, you know?
A water bubble pipe.
When you pull out the pipe and people think you're going to be all like smart and sophisticated and then bubbles come out.
Yep.
You ever accidentally suck one of those suckers in?
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh, no kid forgets that.
You
You ever do it and then you're like, God, I wish I'd have said some curse words to make it worthwhile.
My grandma, one time I bought candy cigarette or these fake cigarettes that you would blow out and it would look like smoke. They looked so real.
Yeah.
And we walked up, me and my buddy Alistair walked up to them at the Sydney, Iowa State.
So cool.
The Sydney, Iowa Rodeo.
Did you roll them up in your sleeves too?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
But you're blowing out so then the puffs come out so it looks real. And my grandma's like, what are you doing? And then I showed it to her. She's like, oh, that's funny. And then my grandma put it up and tried it. But instead of knowing to blow out, she sucked in like a normal cigarette. And the cotton and all the fucking powder just went in my grandma's mouth. And she's like, bleh.
I can remember one time.
One time.
I took a empty bottle of Zima.
Yeah, baby. It's Z-I-M-A.
And then filled it up with water.
Yeah.
And was just holding on to this bottle of Zima with water in it until my mom came around the living room.
Yeah.
And then I started chugging it.
That's good.
Right in front of her, and then she
Good prank.
smacked me.
My friend Alistair, speaking of him, when we was a kid,
Crowley?
Bryson, but close. We were staying up one night watching movies. We were watching Fear. Remember the movie Fear? Yeah, right. Where he writes on his chest, and then his fingers race on a roller coaster. We were staying up watching that, and
that was one of the movies where like Alyssa Milano popped back up.
Yeah, super.
Because she was gone for like 2 years.
Yeah, well, she was off making those Poison Ivy movies nobody watched.
I watched them.
Yeah, me too, baby. But
she only made one Poison Ivy movie.
His mom woke up in the middle of the night. We were watching this movie, so we went and got all the booze we could out of the cabinets and like opened the bottles up and had them all sitting on the. So it looked like we were just drinking, and nobody even. His mom was just like, all right. Like I think she just realized that it was a prank, but and then we're like, I guess we'll just close all these bottles up now.
Speaking of closing bottles.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking action figures. 91 episodes in. We're getting ready to talk about our favorite.
I think it's 92.
92.
Maybe 93.
Yeah.
Jesus
well, we've
Christ.
done 91.
Yeah.
We haven't done this one yet.
We've done 180.
And I don't know.
Something.
I'm kind of glad that these little pieces of my childhood are going to outlive civilization.
Yeah, these little plastic.
Yeah.
They need to make bamboo toys, you know?
No.
Like beans on toast.
We definitely are producing too much plastic today, but these toys are fine out there. You know, I kind of like aliens coming down and finding.
Here's a question. If I take a piece of plastic, like let's say I have a Donatello toy, and I light it on fire, it turns into that really thick black smoke, but then it'll all burn.
Yeah.
So why isn't that all right? I mean, I'm sure the fire and the smoke is hurting the atmosphere, But, like, isn't that a good way to get rid of plastic?
How about just shoot the shit into space?
Thanks. Yeah. Shoot it to Mars. Let those fuckers deal with it.
Wherever the fucking Voyager probe, wherever probes are going, why don't we make probes out of plastic? And
that'd be fun. Send old biker mice from Mars toys to Mars.
Yeah.
Let the biker mice deal with them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Also, did you hear about the death of the Mars rover?
Oh, boy, that was
It
depressing,
was declared dead.
Its last words were like, battery's low, it's getting dark.
Really?
You see that? Yeah, that was the last transmission. Battery's low, it's getting dark. God
the final
damn.
transmission.
Yeah. They kept sending it. They were playing it music, hoping that it would come back too. That it would come back.
Dead rover, the Mars module turned over.
It's over.
Mm-hmm. So what do we got? Action figures.
I got a Wikipedia.
Why don't you tell the NFers, just to give them a little
heads up
outlier here of what the hell action figures are.
An action figure is a doll, or basically a posable character doll, made of plastic or other materials, and often based upon characters from a film, comic book, military, video game, or television program, fictional or historical. These dolls are usually marketed toward boys and adult collectors, no ladies. According to a study in Sweden...
Ladies can play with them, it's just not marked. Sorry, carry on with your Wikipedia.
Ladies are boys too. Go on, dust your shoulders off. According to a study in Sweden, action figures which display traditional masculine traits primarily target boys, while most commonly marketed as a child's toy. The action figure or action doll has gained wide acceptance as an adult collector item. In such a case, the item may be produced and designed on the assumption it will be sought solely for display as a collectible and not used to actually play.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the market now.
Yeah, totally. Especially, yeah, definitely. You know, Star Wars, they do their whole thing like the Force Days or whatever, where every week they release a new toy or a new idea or a new toy line. And now they're doing 3. Have you heard about this? It's called like Triple Force Days or something now, because they're releasing now stuff for Episode 9.
Right.
The Mandalorian show.
Oh, yeah.
And this new game, this new game they're working on, the Force something. The Rogue Jedi or something it's called, or the bad Jedi, the Dark Jedi, or something new game. So now that's what they do. But where do they come from? Tell me about the meager beginnings of these things.
Well, a lot of people say that the first action figure was G.I. Joe.
God, I thought you were going to say Jesus.
No.
A lot of people say the first action figure was the Bible.
Yeah. You know, Jesus.
Yeah.
A lot of people say he was the first act. That's what church people used to say.
I'll tell you this. The Bible makes a pretty good, like a hill if you need to set some toys on a hill.
You know what's great? Is just, I like blankets.
Blankets are really great.
You grab a blanket, you throw it down, and then that's just kind of like your hill.
Yeah, a kid's...
Or a fort.
I'll tell you this. Kid's shoe, nice little car, for a little hover car for
100%.
For a G.I. Joe.
And then the shoe box.
Grown-up shoe. Nice little hover car for a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I like those shoe boxes. You could like draw stuff inside.
Build like a diorama in them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's always good. What was you? Okay, so you know a little bit about the history of these things. Now we've all watched the great Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us.
Yes.
I think we learned a lot through that.
So good, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like I loved learning about the creative process behind a lot of these toys.
It's so weird that so much of the stuff we loved as children were fucking just made to sell us the toys that we got.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I had no problem with it.
I am cool with it now, I guess, in an extent. I don't have a weird like consumerism aspect of it where it pisses me off. But it's interesting because as a kid, I never would have known that.
Like,
and I would have been bummed if I knew it as a kid.
Like, it's really interesting how much of an effect Reagan politics, Reagan-era politics and deregulation had on the childhood of so many millennials.
Also, I'll tell you this. If you're in a pinch and you're playing what do you call it, a hair blow dryer?
Yeah.
Very nice ray gun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. But also, Raygun, greatest store in the universe.
Oh, yeah, Des Moines Raygun. We should get a sponsorship from them.
Yeah. Or at least just a shirt.
Yeah.
But no.
Shit. They gave me a free shirt.
I mean, obviously, one of the things that Reagan ran on was deregulation.
Yeah.
And one of the main things that they deregulated was children advertising.
Yeah, being able to market all this shit, all these toys to kids.
Yeah.
Mommy, give me this shit I wanted.
So, like, we pretty much, and, like, they wound up reining it in a little bit in the 90s. So, the 80s were like the
Rampant.
heyday of being able to advertise to kids.
Yeah, and I'm sure right now is insane.
Well, it's probably a lot
Because
harder
Trump-
to regulate with the internet and
Well,
stuff,
not
too.
just that, but because Trump pulled back everything that Obama had put at the worst, and even a lot of the Bush year stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that now, like, who knows what horrific stuff the marketing and advertisers are doing to our kids today.
Yeah, because back in the day, they couldn't do any of this shit. Like, the cartoon tie-ins were really hard to pull off. That's why Star Wars was such a big deal as a toy line.
Yeah.
Like, it was right before everything else because it had this big world, but it wasn't, like, advertised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The movies were there, and that's
Yeah.
a different thing, but they weren't like He-Man.
He-Man,
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. He-Man's really interesting because that's like them being like, all right, we got to make a Star Wars.
Yeah, we need, and they're not trying to make that art. They're trying to make those toys.
Yeah.
So they're like, we need this universe. We need bad guys. What is this guy's thing? We have this clay thing
All
that
these-
looks like this character from Japan. Can we make him?
Yeah,
you know?
because it's interesting, like, seeing some of them, the lines after Star Wars fail. Like, they had, like, Indiana Jones toy line. Which,
also,
which Indiana, what?
I was going to say, with the Star Wars, the Toys That Made Us documentary is really good. There's also a really great documentary called Plastic Galaxy. Do you know about this? It's only about Star Wars toys, and it's like an hour and a half similar to it, but it's really great, too, and it tells the whole story, which because G.I. Joe had been a thing as, like, the tall dolls.
Yeah.
But when Star Wars kind of revolutionized it, it was a whole
Nobody
documentary
was
about
that
how,
size.
No, and it's all about how, like, the toys looked fucked up, how they oversold them because nobody expected Star Wars to be such a big hit, and all that stuff. They really go into in-depth about that in this Plastic Galaxy documentary that's really great.
Yeah, and it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Retroactively, at least to me, having grown up and played with 3-inch, 3 3/4 size
They just fit
toys.
right up there. You just grease them up, you slide them right up, and then they're fucking you ride around with them.
What?
What's that?
What?
I don't. Sorry. I think I was inferring what you were saying, but I think I was on a different page.
I was talking about vehicles.
Oh, I was talking about shoving them up my ass. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I was talking about. Shoving toys up my butt.
No.
Vehicles. Yeah, great. Love them.
Yeah, they fit right in.
Yeah. I wouldn't shove a vehicle up my ass though. Not me.
Because, like, you're older.
Chewbacca, sure.
Like, if they
I'm
made
trying to put a Millennium Falcon up my butt. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Like, if they made a, freaking airplane
Yeah.
for the 1960s G.I. Joe.
It had to be fucking the size of a house.
Yeah.
It had to be the size of an ottoman.
Yeah. Or it'd have to be the size of a USS Flag.
Yeah. Is that what the plane was that they made for
No,
them?
the USS Flag is the giant G.I. Joe battleship.
Oh, yeah.
Or
For the big
aircraft
guys?
carrier. No, for the...
ours generation. Yeah.
The one that took up an entire bedroom that some kids'
Rich-ass
childhoods
kids
only
got.
heard about.
Yeah.
I saw a USS Flag.
Of course you did, because you grew up with money, and you're ashamed to say it.
No, I went to a kid's house and he had it.
Yeah?
Mhm.
My friend's cousin had a Power Glove.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. It's just one of those things where, okay, so... So they watch those documentaries, the stuff with Star Wars, and then once they started really piling out like the He-Man days, He-Man documentary is great.
The He-Man
Masters of the Universe or whatever it's called.
And He-Man is pretty much the first big, like, non-licensed hit.
Yeah.
That was like its own thing, which is pretty cool, obviously, in that documentary, seeing how they made it, how they made this world, and then they just made all of the supporting characters.
Yeah.
And, like your Fistos.
And what is it? Who's the man with the 1,000 faces? No, the
Man-O-Face?
Man-O-Face, that's it.
Not to be confused with Man-O-War.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
You have a Man-O-War t-shirt.
I do.
I was watching that documentary. Really opened my eyes and made me see a lot of I'm talking about the He-Man actual full documentary, not just the Toys That Made Us episode. I really loved it and how it dealt with all the stuff about like how the teams were writing stuff, and it seemed. Yes, it was consumerism and it was capitalism and stuff, but also they were having fun with it. They were really trying to do interesting stuff and cool shit.
Well, they want to make the best product
they
can to infect kids' minds.
Yeah.
Like, I love all the little stories, like how Battle Cat
came
to be.
because it was just a cat that was too big.
Yeah, and they're like, well, he can ride them.
Yeah.
Put
a saddle on that fucker.
Put a saddle on that fucker. Paint it green.
And then through that, now, there are certain toys, now this is just us talking now, that I don't even know if they actually existed. Now, maybe you do. You're the research guy on this podcast.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm the money guy. You're the research. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the brawn, you're the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, okay, so Transformers, or not, excuse me, not Transformer, He-Man, crazy, flies off the shelf, huge.
Yeah.
Now, in my head, He-Man goes neck and neck with Thundercats. Did Thundercats have a toy line?
Yes.
I never fucking saw a Thundercat
I only
toy.
saw the car.
Okay.
Like some of these toy lines too, they just seem so mythical from your childhood because you would pick up like one piece of the multimedia bombardment that they'd be launched with, and then you wouldn't see it again. Or like the cartoon would still be playing after the toy line died out.
Done?
Yeah, because it's kind of surprising when you go back and you see just how short most toy lines' lifespans were. Like a lot of these things only get like one run, and then they're done.
Well,
you
so
know?
that's what
and like He-Man had like 3, and then it was done.
And Turtles had like 4 or
Turtle,
5,
yeah,
maybe.
like the long running ones. I mean, it's all at the top of the heap. It's like Turtles. And then, I mean, it's really hard to fuck with Transformers.
Transformers then really market,
because
really
they were
get
able
it right.
to reimagine themselves. I mean, to a lesser degree with Headmasters, but Beast Wars gave the entire line like a second run.
Yeah,
and but it's also fun, kind of going back and seeing the toy lines as they start to die, and like the gimmicks they introduce.
Oh yeah, well,
like there's always a neon or slime aspect that they throw into toys,
and like when they can do extra stuff and shit like that, like
clapping Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Get him now. He's got a neon shirt too.
Now we're talking a lot about the ins and outs of the actual history of it all. Now I'm more curious about what's your history of it all. I'm going to give you mine. I can tell you what my toy chest looked like, my action figure chest, and then maybe if you can have an answer for this too. So my chest, like let's say it's a circle, like a bullseye, right? And then the circle is the most, and then there's an outer rim, and then there's another rim, right? So my middle, where it's all of it, most of what I had, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay? Then outside of that, next after Turtles, and it might have been neck and neck, and you know what, honestly, I might have had more of these, but to me, Turtles is the whole G.I. Joes, because I had that wonderful thing where my cousin sold my family like fucking 30 or so G.I. Joes. So then all of the G.I. Joes, and I'm talking vehicles as well, and I had the sewer, I had the headquarters and everything. And then after that, it starts getting bare bones.
Yeah.
After that, it was.
You start getting the sporadic toy lines.
Well,
the
I would
clearance market.
I'll say I still had more He-Man, but not. I didn't have nearly as many. I probably had, if I had 40 turtle toys or 30 turtle toys. I had 30 G.I. Joe toys. I maybe had 10 He-Man toys. And then after He-Man, I maybe had 5 Ghostbuster toys. And then we start getting into that fucking weirdo thing where it's like I got a couple of the Batman movie toys. I had Paul from Dune, aforementioned Dune, earlier in the week.
I think we have the exact same ranking there, but tied with G.I. Joe in my second ring were the plastic hard WWF characters.
Yeah, see, I had none. I mean, I had 2. I think I talked about this on the show. I had 2 thumb puppet wrestling characters. I had Junkyard Dog and maybe
I had the plastic early 90s. We do
the nice
one
ones,
move.
And that was a huge thing. And you could get the ring and a lot of kids had that. But so I'm so brand specific, still am to this day. I was like, you guys can have that. I'm just going to, if I'm at the store, I'm going to have my mom buy me a turtle toy.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles, totally I had the most of. And you beg for the Ninja Turtle when you go to the store, and then you beg for the playset / vehicle on birthdays and Christmases and stuff.
Totally. And also, I think it's got to be sweet for a kid. Because like my parents, I was so into Turtles. Like there was other things on at the time, and I liked other things. Like I liked Who's the Boss?
Yeah.
And I liked Transformers okay. But like if you would have gotten me a Transformers toy, I'd have been like, okay, but I would have rather had.
I wanted more Transformers. I love Transformers, but they were
I had
too
one
expensive.
Or 2. I didn't even put them on my list. I had 1 or 2. But like I would have rather had a 4th tier turtle character toy than an Optimus Prime. Because I don't have any of these Optimus. I don't give a fuck. Optimus Prime is going to be an outlier. But
it's hard to get
you
that.
get me Yusaki Yojimbo, all of a sudden I've got so many new storylines that can open up in my toys.
Yeah. No, I love Transformers and loved them growing up, but like I never had enough.
Yeah.
And like Transformers are like you have to get like straight A's.
Yeah.
Did
you have
or
any...
break a leg to get a Transformer.
Did you have any
That's what's great about G.I. Joes, you know?
Yeah.
You just get that one little G.I. Joe guy, you know, and then you can do a whole bunch of shit.
I will say that I think maybe I'll put him in with the outliers, but I probably had a handful of them. I did have some original run Star Wars toys, but it was just like leftovers from my brother, you know, that just worked their way into my toy chest. And it's funny because it's never like I didn't have a Luke Skywalker. I had the guard, the pig looking guard from Return of the Jedi.
I can remember,
I had him, and I had a Harrison Ford in Hoth gear.
Yeah. I had an Ewok village that I got a lot of mileage out of.
We had an Ewok village at our my preschool. We had the toy set, but none of the Ewoks, and everybody called it the Keebler Elf House. Yeah. That's what people thought it was the Keebler Elf House.
What's also fun is the way that they, like we talked about Battle Cat. How they do that. All of the remolds, I guess is what the industry calls it, because Ewok Village was later repackaged as Sherwood Forest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah.
Or just like all the different stuff like that.
Well,
Little John
is
a Gamma Rayan guard.
Yeah.
Just like with a different head and stuff. And like...
It's smart. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Plus, kids aren't going to notice about that stuff.
What did you have now? So if those are about your safeties, what were your outliers? You know, like I had like a Batman. I had... a Nightcrawler. I had.
I will say.
I had a weird Chuck Norris toy that I don't know where it came from.
I forgot one of my rings in there is definitely the X-Men toys.
See, I only had one Nightcrawler.
And that was X-Men toys came along about when I was old enough to buy my own toys. Yeah. You know, where you're getting that like $10 a week for a paper and shit like that. Yeah. So you go down and buy. My little brother was getting into them too, so we kind of like
could work them together.
Yeah. I had a decent X-Men amount, and those are also interesting because they didn't have hardly any vehicles or playsets.
No, yeah,
they just had
just toys.
So they were also probably being driven by the collector's market.
Yeah,
because they had really good looking toys and it's comic.
Well,
book
that's
stuff.
what I think. I think I remember it's interesting. The Batman movie toy. I think the action figure, the Batman was great. But I didn't think remember the Batman movie Batmobile plastic car? Mm-hmm. Like the fins kept falling off and shit. I didn't like that.
The Batman the animated series car was way cooler.
Was it cool? I never had that. Here's the thing I love doing. You were talking about using like the blankets and forts and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we did this when we were like in middle school. We thought it was fun. We got all of our toys back out. But what I thought was cool was that you'd go into my living room, my parents' living room, and we'd get thread, like sewing thread, and you'd have in the middle of the floor, you'd have the G.I. Joe headquarters, and then maybe somewhere else in the room, you'd have the turtle sewer. And the G.I. Joe headquarters has all these little like ledges and corners and stuff. To those, you tie some thread, and then you take a string of thread, you take it all the way up to the mantle, and then I tie a piece of that to like one of my mom's like candles or something. And then you've got a zip line from there. And so then I would always, and then you could literally, every character, it doesn't matter who it is, you could, their hands, their what do they call it? The Kung Fu grip?
Yeah.
Would zip them down that zip line. And so I would have a team of people there, and then all the way across the living room, my cousin would be on the other side, and I'd be like, okay, we need to get these guys from the turtle sewer. Everybody be back at the G.I. Joe base. And it's zoom, 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 zoom. And everybody's there. And I loved that.
I used to set my toys up where it'd be like you're going through different worlds in a video game or something.
Oh, that's smart.
So I'd have to do a beat 'em up style where I take like, Bullseye, my new favorite Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Him and, Mondo Gecko have to. First, they got to go through He-Man world. So we're on Snake Mountain fighting He-Man people.
Yeah.
And then they have to go to the next, like, here's my Bat Cave with my couple of Batman toys. And then you'd have to.
I love that.
I was very story driven,
Yeah.
And so that third act motivator typically is revenge of a dead friend.
Yeah. Who'd you make die?
Unfortunately, one time I made Snake Eyes die.
Yeah. I can see that.
Had a funeral.
No shit.
In the backyard.
Did you ever see, what's that movie with Fred Savage? Our friend Fred Savage, the boy who could fly?
Yeah.
And he buried all of his G.I. Joes, and then he cried and had to go dig them out of the yard. Have we talked about that on the show? It's very emotional.
Well, I cried and went to dig them out of the yard. Couldn't find them.
He's there forever.
Never found them.
No.
I still have dreams.
Some lawnmower found that fucker someday.
About this guy.
Yeah. Well, so there was what was I gonna say? Did you know what about all these other weirdo fucking toys? Like, did you have Dino Riders? I know you talk about them all the time.
Oh no,
That was like a whole other thing.
I may have had one Dino Rider.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of these toys are like that, where you just get like one because you want it, and then the toy line goes away, or you just don't get toys enough.
Where not my cousin, but where we were babysat, my cousin was with me. The house we got babysat in, the kid that lived at that house, he had like a whole shelf of dino, like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And it was that thing where you weren't allowed to play with them. They were like, but he was like a kid, but he was like, I don't want anybody playing with them. They're just collector things.
So
we had a bunch of those.
I can remember Crystar. I had to retroactively look it up.
I don't know what that is.
Crystar was a Marvel comic thing that they made. Crystar and Moltar.
Ooh, Moltar sounds familiar.
Were these two people that fought against each other, and basically all they had were giant dragons one was a crystal dragon and one was a like a molten lava dragon.
Yeah.
And it was one of those that I had to look up because it was always in my head and I had no idea what it was as a kid growing up, and that was pretty badass.
Oh, cool.
I was into Musclemen.
What were the Musclemen now? Because I feel like that's another thing that like somebody had them in there, like JJ had them or something.
They're like the little peach wrestling guys that they didn't do much. They were just little. They were almost like army guys, but they were made of rubber.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Oh God, I almost forgot one of my rows. Before I get to Outliers, after He-Man was fucking Ghostbusters. I had a shit ton of Ghostbusters toys. Now a shit ton might be 7, but I had them, and I had the headquarters.
Yeah,
and I had the car, the Ecto-1, and that was cool. That was a fucking nice toy. And they
the
were
headquarters,
the ones
which would later be repurposed as the Police Academy.
Police Academy house. Yeah, we learned that. The you were talking about how some toys in their jump the shark period they started doing stuff,
or jump to the shark.
Street Sharks. Ghostbusters started that way, where you click a thing onto them and then, or their arms
well,
go
they didn't
flail.
start that way because first issue, Ghostbusters, all they had was the really awkward proton pack thing that just you couldn't get rid of it, and all you could do was swivel
the plastic toy.
But they didn't have any of like the weird action on the first issue.
I thought they did. I thought right out of the gate. I just must not have got any first issue then.
Yeah, they were just regular. The 4 Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting how they had all of those different toys where it's like, I'm an old granny, and then you hit a button and I turn into a monster.
You were talking about how sometimes stuff only has like one run of good toys. Well, when the film comes out, that happens. And I'll tell you one I forgot about until right this second. But when we got babysat, that was the great. Did you have that situation when you were a kid where you went to a babysitter and it was like 10 kids show up and everybody brings their toys and you could?
Oh yeah.
At our babysitter Brenda, the babysitter was Elaine, but her granddaughter was Brenda. And Brenda had a bunch of fucking Beetlejuice toys, and those fuckers were good.
I got a bunch of Beetlejuice toys because they were obviously.
Oh God, we better not say it again.
Because right when my parents got divorced, I can remember like I think it was pretty much put on my aunt one year to get us toys.
Yeah.
So they are different toys than what we're used to. You know, cause
yeah.
You know,
well, that's the thing. That's how you get those.
So they baught a bunch of clearance toys, and it was obviously the Beetlejuice brand.
Don't say it.
Damn it.
Say BJ. Say your aunt gave you some BJs. Your aunt gave you a BJ.
Whoa, no. Anyways, they were weird toys, and they were all made by Kenner.
They were artsy though looking. They're cool.
Yeah, and it's just kind of weird how
you push a button and the head shrieks out a little.
One of them there was like a disappearing chamber grave.
Yeah.
That you could put Beetlejuice in.
Yeah.
And they all had a removable head.
Yeah. That
then they would have a shrunken head.
Yeah, or they had the triangle weird big mouth head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those a lot. Those are fun. And then I don't know what this fucking random ass Chuck Norris toy I had was, but also I've talked about it.
Norris Karate Commandos.
I didn't know I had.
No, it's not maybe.
That must be it. I didn't know I had Paul from Dune. I just knew him. He was the dude in the green shirt. I didn't know that I had him until like fucking a couple years ago. Maybe even on this podcast, I didn't realize it was Paul from Dune. I posted, by the way, on our Instagram last weekend, I posted a video that I made in 2004 sitting at my desk in college. It's just a little stupid video, but it was Bobby Drake. It was 3 toys I'd had with me that went to college with me. So it was Bobby Drake, the Human Torch, and Paul from Dune. and it's just them interacting on my desk. It's so stupid. It's like almost stop motion, but not good. But I thought since I made it years ago, I posted it up there. So you can go watch that if you want. See what my Dune toy looked like. What else? What else are you thinking about? It's almost time to go to our Facebook because of course we ask these NFers things. But
one of my favorite things that, like we were talking about, once Reagan deregulated everything, was just like the
Ronnie.
Yeah. Was just the big old onslaught of everything that came along with it. Because like probably you would. Like from 84 to about 88 is the height of action figures. Two things that I think killed like the oversaturation of the market were Nintendo and ironically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Because Turtles just was so much that people
were
just
so
like
huge.
Overkill.
Yeah. No, not that it was overkill. It was just like they were the only game in the they're the only toy for like 3 years that mattered,
I agree. I loved it.
They just dominated kiddom.
You know what I thought was really cool with a cartoon thing, or they say God never gives with both hands, but sometimes shows like Ghostbusters was a good example. Turtles is a good example, where you have your action figure toys, but then you also got your let's play. So you get a backpack you can put on, Ecto pack. Turtles, you get the masks, the toys. Like, that's so smart. I think Power Rangers did that later, too. Power Rangers had the toy guns and stuff like that, but then they also had the...
I don't think anybody leaned into it better than the Ghostbusters did.
Yeah, totally.
Because they had, like, those...
and they had
those, like, light-up Ghostbuster things where it's like they're projecting ghosts on the wall.
Yeah, and you shoot them.
And then there were so many different...
you shoot the yellow foam out of the gun.
There were so many different, like, Nerf-like Ghostbuster things.
There were like a couple different turtle comms.
Yeah.
Because me and my cousin Dustin both had different turtle comms, so they wouldn't. I think they really would be walkie-talkies if you just had batteries in them, but we never had batteries.
Now they have turtle cons.
Thank you.
Yeah, where people get together.
I want to say real quick. You were talking about how when your toys all play together, when you're interacting with them.
Yeah.
The way I would always do it in my stories was I'd be like, okay, well, Joe's on their way to fight Cobra, but oh my God, they hit a time vortex, and now they're in New York and they're with the Turtles.
It's kind of fun.
What?
That there are now publications out there that basically do that.
Well, that's what I was going to mention.
Hasbro owns everything.
Yeah.
Like all of your favorite toy lines are now owned by Hasbro, and I think they're about to. They're the Disney of toys.
Yeah.
And they're about to even get Mattel now. So like,
cool.
Not cool. I mean, just because it's like Monopoly type.
Yeah.
Type
I
stuff,
guess that,
which Hasbro owns now too.
Yeah. Boom. Well, what I was going to say though is something that is cool that's happening because of these kind of things is now Nickelodeon and Marvel have teamed up. Or not Marvel, DC, and they're doing a Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of those direct-to-DVD
cool.
DCUs, which is based off a comic from a couple of years ago that I read last night. Fucking so cool.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, is there's like a they hit a different warp or whatever, and now Batman is interacting with the Turtles because the Turtles are stuck in Gotham.
That's cool.
And that's exactly what we were doing when we were kids with these toys.
That's what I'm saying, because like Hasbro now has storyline with Transformers and G.I. Joe. I mean, they've always had that, but they also have like Mask and Eco Squad.
Sure.
Pretty much all of their properties are like together. Like they've even made Matt Stryper, who's the leader of Mask, Mobile Assault something or other.
Surgical Hospital.
Yep. He's now retroactively a G.I. Joe because Hasbro owns everything. But I was saying earlier, one thing that I love is the fact that since he's came out in the
1980s,
and one of the biggest musical genres at the time
was theme songs,
was hard rock.
Yeah.
All of these toy lines also come with like classic badass hard rock mix. I think this one is the best.
So first up, we've got Galaxy Rangers, which I don't know shit about, but let's hear a little bit of this. This might be too loud, listeners. I think you're good though.
This one's got a little bit of an intro because it's the long version of one of the best songs.
Alien Rock-Off. And now give a warm welcome to a new band from Earth. the Galaxy Rangers. Let's rock and roll, dudes. I'm going to enjoy this. Set your axe on stunt. Somewhere in the future, follow up here. The police are waiting on the last frontier. Into these worlds of unknown danger they ride. They're the Galaxy Rangers, heroes in the sky. No guts, no glory, nothing.
I don't know what that is, but that fucking rules.
Yeah, it does.
I never saw that. I've never even heard of that. It's like they mixed Jim and like G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Or Jim and like Space G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Well, some of these I don't even, especially that I'm playing right now, I didn't even watch as a kid.
Yeah.
I've like found out as an adult and like got around to checking out the music because they have a lot of good music for these intros.
Hey, Patrick, why do you want to be on stage all your life? Well, I don't know. Maybe because I only watched Jim and Alvin and the Chipmunks and fucking the Galaxy. You know, all these things where all these people were rocking stages, saving lives.
So
next up, we got Dino Saucers intro.
oh, this song rules
ready for this?
too. Yeah.
We used to be 4 ordinary teenagers. Until one day, we met some new friends from out of town. They were called Dino Saucers. My friends and I became the secret scouts, allies to these Dino Saucers from outer space, and joined in their battles against Genghis Rex and the evil Tyrannos. The Dino Saucers are leaving, Bossasaur.
Well, follow them.
Damn.
That slaps, it bangs, whatever the kids
Yeah,
say.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I have never heard of Dino Saucers, but that looks like something I would watch right now.
Yeah.
Like, that looks great.
That
Uh-oh, heard a musical sound.
Oh, this is one of my all-time
and
favorites.
a classic, of course. I used to watch this every morning before school. Ladies and gentlemen, put your wherever you're at, pull your cock out, pull out your panties, whatever you're gonna do. Get ready for the mask intro. Here we go.
Masked Crusaders working overtime, fighting crime. Secret raiders who will neutralize soon as they arrive. Striker's gonna leave a mission. It Spectrum's gods of supervision. Masked is the mighty power that can save the day. No one knows what lies behind their mad charades. Always riding on Venom's trail. Come see the laser rays. Find your way.
Dang,
y'all.
you know, I'm fucking jacked.
Oh, we'll just get the...
Does
what?
Casio get fucking like $1 every time we play one of these videos?
They fucking should.
Yeah,
dude.
right?
They should.
Do you want to check out this one too?
Yeah,
Jace and the
last
Wheeled?
one we'll get out here.
Here we
This
go.
song rules, too.
Jace and the Wheeled Warriors, ladies
Uh-huh.
and gentlemen. Get ready for this fucking hit. It's like
Thundering
every...
across the stars to save the universe from the monster minds.
This one gives a little bit
Jace
of
searches for his father to unite the magic group
exposition
and
at the
lead his
beginning.
Lightning League to
But
victory
this song...
over the changing form of Sawboss. Wheeled warriors explode into battle. Lightning strikes.
There's a power that comes from deep inside of you. Every day you're reaching for the light. And you know there's a long way ahead of you. But when your wills get you there, things will turn out right. Just keep on turning, don't stop rolling. The fire is on. We're warriors. Wheels burning, wheels moving, wheels of the
Dang-a-lang.
Yeah, and I just got to say, anybody that is a fan of this podcast would also probably, you'd be remiss not to just go back and watch a lot of these intros.
Yeah,
just because in and of them self, they're very like.
We've talked about it a lot, but I think it's time that we just.
Yeah, from like your Thundercast or your Silverhawks, and just like the way that they did all of these, and the animation's great.
Yeah.
And the music. I mean, 3 of the ones that we just showed right there were pretty much failed lines.
We've talked about it a lot, and I think it's time to just pull the trigger on doing a goddamn
music
theme song episode.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, here's a little thing I just pulled up. A fellow named Shuki Levy is an Israeli-American music composer and television producer. He did the music for Mask, Dino Saucers, whatever the fuck that was we just watched. Also, Inspector Gadget.
Wow.
Eagle Riders, Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, She-Ra, and Mass Riders, VR Troopers, and Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Oh, Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
That's not an action figure? Well,
No.
I guess they did have an action figure line off of
He
it.
even
But,
he sang that, and I thought for sure that was going to be fucking like a Steve Perry shit.
Can we at least listen? Well, we have to do it now.
Well, let's tease it. Let's tease it. We'll do
We'll
it.
put it at the end?
We'll put it at the end. We'll do a theme song episode because it's doing an injustice to.
Like, I was too old, and I've come to respect and enjoy the Big Bad Beetleborgs
They're great.
song.
It's a fucking great.
Best thing Jay Leno ever did.
Yeah, well, I love DC Cab, you know that.
Mhm.
But goddamn,
I say goddamn. Also,
we reached out to our fucking NFers.
Hell yes, we did.
The NFers, more like no fuckers. I don't know, they fuck. You asked them. We asked some different questions.
We did.
You asked them.
I
asked them. We're talking action figures on the darn pod today. What were some of your faves? And you asked them what were some of your discount faves.
Yeah.
So let's go through. You read yours and then I'll read mine.
Okay. Like I said, I wanted to know some of the favorite like clearance aisle
like
stuff.
low
Because I can
budget
remember getting Rock Lords.
I don't even know. That's like over
Rock
my
Lords are they had a tie-in movie with the GoBots.
I think
so. They're like the worst version of GoBots, and they were rocks that transformed into people.
Ask me if I know the Rock Lords.
Do you know the Rock Lords?
Well, I mean Matchbox 20. Third Eye Blind, Cracker. Yeah, a lot of Rock Lords. You get it?
Yep. So anyways, I was asking what some of those favorites were. Patrick Tomlinson.
Patrick.
Very funny comedian and a great novelist. Checked in. He said Dino Riders.
Yeah.
Which,
we were talking about.
Dino Riders were the best. They were the best. Jason Hillman said GoBots.
Hillman, baby.
Yeah.
Good, big NFer from way back.
A lot of kids had to settle on GoBots throughout their life. There's nothing wrong with settling on GoBots. Nicholas Lou Beard said he was pretty into Battle Beasts. And
ooh, I don't even know that one.
You don't remember Battle Beasts?
No.
Battle Beasts were kind of proto-Pokemon. Yeah. They were, and they're actually introduced in Transformer canon, but that was only in the Japanese production. We never got the tie-in here, which I think would have made them huge. But they were little tiny, like 2-inch tall animals that all had like armor and weapons and stuff. So it'd be like a tiny elephant and a bear, and every single one of them had a heat-sensitive chest piece.
I love that.
That would then tell you if they were instead
horny?
of rock, scissors, paper. Oh, instead of rock, scissors, paper, it was wood, fire, water.
Yeah.
And wood beat water, fire beat so it was just rock, scissors, paper. But they were pretty badass.
Mark Kellen, friend from Des Moines, said the hero figures of Inhumanoids were terrible, but the monsters were badass.
Yeah, I never saw any of those toys, but I've heard about them with the amount of stuff I've watched about toy lines over the years.
Dario goes classic Street Sharks, which I didn't have any of the Street Shark toys. I wish I would have.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they would have fit right in. Same as Cowboys Moo Mesa. I had no toys. Wish I would have.
Yeah.
I would have loved it.
Matt Coco said the Technozoids. Apparently, they go for pretty good money nowadays.
That's cool. Kevin O'Shea brought up the Silverhawks. Again, I never had the toys, but I played Silverhawks a lot out in the yard.
Silverhawks were the follow-up to Thundercats.
Yeah. I loved Silverhawks. I watched that show every Saturday or every morning.
Yeah.
Whatever, every Saturday, every morning, whenever it was on.
Silverhawks are also fun because they have seemed like every toy line had like the cowboy trope.
Yeah.
Like the one guy that was a bit of a cowboy.
Yeah.
In all of the groups.
Same as they all had their goofball, which Lebedo came in with. Ray Stantz, his Ghostbusters was his fave.
Jen Lutz, she said, I was way more into toy cars, but I had a Transformer knockoff that had the tiniest head and no arms and transformed into a garbage truck.
Oh, that's fun.
Sounds like it was a garbage toy.
Yeah,
Jen.
somebody gave you that garbage gift. John Gilligan said General Custer and Associates. I don't know what that is, but that's great.
Me neither. Daniel Aarons said Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Boy after my heart.
Yep.
Love him. Charlie Whitley said Ames sold these knockoff G.I. Joes called the Core.
I remember the Core.
In the 8-packs, they had really interesting mix of design styles. Some would be fairly realistic army men, and some would be the wacky sci-fi soldiers.
A lot of generic G.I. Joes out there to get.
They're like Legos. You get the knockoff Legos.
Oh, I hated the knockoff Legos.
They suck shit through a straw. Carboni says, when I was a kid, I found the entire line of Earthworm Jim toys at 3 for $10. Whoa,
wow.
That would be he said he felt like a king, of course.
That and Darkwing Duck toys.
I didn't have any of either.
Awesome looking toys that I never got to play with.
I think I had a Darkwing Duck vehicle, weirdly.
Darkwing Duck had a sweet toy line because they were really well made molds of all of the. He had a great Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, a lot of
not enough people talk about that Darkwing Duck Rogue Gallery.
A lot of my toys had mold on them too. If you want to be serious, we live in the basement. Hannah Harkness, she's close to the podcast. She said the Ninja Turtles that shot pizzas. Yeah, man, those fuckers. Lebedo said not an action figure per se, but I had one of these growing up. Always felt like Key Force was the closest you could get to ripping off Transformers without getting hit with a cease and desist.
Right.
I don't know Key Force, but
I don't know. I think GoBots got pretty close.
Yeah, I think they did get sued, actually.
Rudy Schultz, he said,
he's coming in hot with a bunch.
Loved my King Arthur and the Knights of Justice dudes. Also had Kevin Costner toys for Robin Hood. And some Primal Rage action figures.
Oh, from the video game?
Yeah, I can remember my cousins got Primal Rage action figures one year for Christmas.
I had a Liu Kang toy from Mortal Kombat. I know that. So that's okay. So that was your list, which was more obscure stuff. Mine was, and these haven't been vetted, so we might have some crossover. But what I put out there was what are some of your favorites of all? And we got Ben Houck came in with Dino Riders. Ray DeVito, friend of the show, he said He-Man was the worst. It was all the same figures except Ram Man, G.I. Joe, Secret Wars, and Star Wars. What's Secret Wars? Is that the
Secret Wars was
like Marvel?
No, yeah,
no.
Yep,
it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
not sure who the toy maker was because I know Superheroes was Kenner's.
Yeah,
because they had the DC stuff.
Yeah,
and did all of that, and then at the same time, Superheroes were the Marvel, or Secret Wars were the Marvel ones.
But
I didn't have too many of those.
The Secret Wars comics are really good. Adam Suzanne said WWE toys, Jax and Hasbro. I don't know that. Or wait, is Jax a company?
Yeah.
Okay. Margot Race said Ninja Turtles, specifically that skateboarding gecko.
Mondo Gecko. Everybody loves Mondo Gecko.
I've talked about how
everybody had Mondo Gecko.
I've talked about how in the new series, the last series, the one that was on Nickelodeon, Napoleon Bonafrog was played by Napoleon Dynamite and played basically as Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh,
it was really cool, yeah.
That's really cool.
And Margot said she also liked the knockoff G.I. Joes you got at CVS because they were cheap and easy to destroy. I like that. I want to say, caveat, all my G.I. Joes died, much like yours, in the yard because we put them on my trampoline and bounced them into the grass, and then they just...
Most of mine died once I hit middle school.
Call it a soldier's burial.
If I didn't give them to my little brother, I burnt a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what I did. I burned
blew them up. I turned into a total Sid.
Yeah, you were a Sid. JT Yates, friend of the show, said the real Ghostbuster. Love it. Love all those toys.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, they're good. Andres Becerril. I always fuck up your name, Andres. I'm sorry. But he said Street Sharks, which, again, wish I had it. Would have loved it. And Matt Von Drack seconded whoever said it before about the pizza shooter van. I remember a kid would bring that to playground, and I don't remember the kid's name or what they looked like, but I remember them having the fucking pizza thrower.
Yeah.
Fucker was good.
It is interesting now. I like to go check out the toys quite a bit at, if I'm at a Target or whatever, I'm always going to go check out the current state of action figures.
Well,
and it's kind of interesting seeing the ones that have survived.
Through my mysterious job, I've been very versed in toys for the last couple of years. And one thing that was really
Star Wars shouldn't come as a surprise.
No, but what
that
was,
it's still as dominant as it is.
What was funny is action figures don't seem to be as popular now, but then this last year we had lots of DuckTales toys, which I would consider action figures, with the money pit and all the money, you know what I'm talking about. And also Launchpad's plane. Those big Jurassic Park toys are huge right now, or at least there's a lot of them. I don't know if they're buying them, but people want them.
Well, dinosaurs are always going to be,
and
a good toy.
There's a series of Marvel, like the new Marvel Cinematic Universe toys, but they're like G.I. Joe size.
Old G.I. Joe, not
old
classic.
G.I. Joe. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Sorry, like a Black Panther.
You see a lot.
About 12
you see a
inches
lot
tall.
more of that nowadays too.
Maybe it's just collectors, but I don't know. I don't know what it's going to. But a funny thing with Star Wars was. So through and we don't do this anymore. We don't. But when I used to see toys way early, like in the summer, I'd see toys for toy lines released in December. And when The Last Jedi came out, I had been looking at Rose toys for 6 months, never acknowledging. I wonder who the fuck this lady is. Never reading the back that explained who she was for 6 months. And then the movie comes out. I'm like, oh, Rose is great. And then I'm like, oh fuck. I literally had this toy. I could have known all this stuff forever ago. So now I have I do not read any of the toy stuff because I don't want to spoil or anything.
That's where a lot of the spoilers come in from too.
Is from
which
stuff like that,
is interesting. Is like if you are on like Star Wars blogs or podcasts or whatever, is they start to get spoilery once the toys come out because they can start to figure stuff out,
put stuff together
retroactively.
which is why, like I was saying, it's now that Star Wars is doing that toy day thing. They're doing more of them now. So the stuff with Mandalorian stuff's going to start leaking and stuff like that.
I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, it makes sense as to why it's one of the more popular toy lines still, but consistently through the years, wrestling toys
they always
have been just a strong
high flyers
presence. High flyers, grapplers, all the toys.
Goddamn. I want to say real quick. Did you do a top 6?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your top 6? You can just bull them off one. Boom.
I'll go through it pretty quick here. I pretty much went with top 6 toys I wish I had.
You wish you had. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I just didn't. You can't.
Can't
have them all.
Yeah.
You
gotta catch them all though.
We got those rings there. I mean, these are the type of toys you just see once.
Yeah.
Or like you may have had one of.
Or a friend had it, or you saw it at the store, but you didn't ever get it. Yeah.
First up, I had Supernaturals.
Ooh, what are those like?
They were like these
D cups.
No, they were like these fucking things with like reflective demons on the front of them, so you get like a knight or a different guy wearing like a cloak or something, and then you turn the light right, and it looks pretty gnarly. Number 5, Voltron.
Voltron, yeah, people love it.
Yeah,
I never even held a Voltron toy.
Me neither.
Saw him.
Yeah, I never even saw him.
Saw him on the stores.
Or like the main Voltron, because that's good marketing right there. Where it's like, hey, we have 5 identical molds that you have to collect all of them.
I lived in the toy department at stores.
Mm-hmm.
You walk into a store, I go to Pomida with my mom or Places or Target. Yeah. I'm in the toy section the whole time. Maybe I'll leave, go play in a pant, but then I'm done. I'm out, Go climb into some dress.
Yeah. Remember having to sift through all the action figures?
Yeah.
And it'd be like fucking 15 Baxter Stockdales.
Baxter Stock, man. Fucking give him the respect he deserves. But that's one, because
I already have Baxter Stockdale.
But being the kind of guy I am, the kind of toy fan I was as a kid, and the same kind of fan I am today, the toys are great with the turtles because that's what I wanted. I wanted the dipshit that nobody else wanted because then I built my collection.
Yeah, but then I'm talking about like you already had it.
Sometimes if you already have it, I would do it anyway. And you know what I would do? Fucking evil. You got evil Baxter. You got good Baxter Stockman now.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that shit all the time.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. And then, let's see, number 4 toy line I wish I had more of, Army Ants. They're really weird. They're pretty much just little ants that were in a battle. There were blue ones and red ones. And for whatever reason, boy, I wanted some Army Ants.
I always wanted ants. And
they came in like a pack of 4.
Yeah, I always wanted an ant farm.
Oh, yeah.
My parents said, go look at the ants outside.
Mm-hmm. Those fuckers don't grow shit.
Yeah.
Number 3, Mask.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted Mask.
I'm sure I had a Mask toy, but can't think of one.
I can remember playing
just like Cops.
with
I'm sure I had a
once.
Cops toy, but I don't know what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't. However, every time I played with my Matchbox cars and Hot Wheel cars, the coolest red car would open its doors and fly around.
Yeah.
And then number 2, I had Battle Beasts.
Battle Beast, yep.
Which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Dino Riders.
Dino Riders, yeah. Like I said,
I had a Dino Riders lunchbox.
Oh,
That's
cool.
the closest I got.
I had a Batman lunchbox. I had a Turtles lunchbox. I think those are the only two. Those are great list. Now my list, I did a different thing. I did my off the top of my head. Now if I'm lying, I'm dying. But these are my top 6 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, action figures. I'm not talking vehicles. I'm not talking cars. I'm talking about the action figures that if I was going over to your house and I wanted to impress you, I would bring these 6. Okay?
Well, I can't wait to cross-reference this from our list from when we did this.
I was trying to think of that if we did this before, but this is and I've changed since then.
Okay.
But number 6, Ground Chuck, because I loved a cow, I loved a Moo Mesa.
I liked Ground Chuck,
and nobody else had Ground Chuck when I was a kid. Maybe everybody did, but in your area,
I was thinking I referenced him earlier in the podcast as Bullseye.
you did. But he had a bullseye.
He had that cool flat top too.
Yeah, and he had the bullseye over his eye. He had the thing on. Number 5, good old Ace Duck, baby.
Oh yeah,
fantastic, so fun.
Even though he was never in the
cartoon, they showed him on TV later.
Yeah, I know.
Number 4, we got the now this is a weird one. Leo playing hockey.
It is weird. I didn't like any of those.
We found him my brother found him in the school parking lot, and then like somebody had thrown him out of a car.
That's one of those line extending gimmicks.
Yeah, well, that's what I love that kind of shit.
I never did. I only wanted the 4 original Turtles.
Yeah. Then after that, we got the number 3. We got Sergeant Bananas.
That's a really late issue Ninja Turtle. Too.
I got him the same day.
It was like him and the Moose. When I was like, man, they're just making anything a mutant these days.
I got Sergeant Banana the same day I got the Turtle Sewer. And I would, remember the Turtle Sewer had the light, the electrical lights, or the electrical poles you could swing on? And I thought it was so perfect that we had the gorilla swinging on the pole.
Did you know that you could take your Ninja Turtle Sewer?
And it would hook up to the Technodrome?
Yeah.
I heard that, but I never had a Technodrome.
Oh.
So number 3, Sergeant Bananas. Number 2... we got Casey Jones, just classic Casey.
Can't fuck with Casey Jones.
No, he's so good. He's
definitely
got the bag.
One of the top 4 turtles.
I heard there was a Casey Jones toy that had a different face that you could pop off the head and switch the faces, but I never saw that. I don't know. That was just the thing I saw on the internet. But I loved it. I liked the bag. I liked the toy. I used to.
He had the best. Yeah.
I'd chew on the baseball bat and stuff like that all the time. And my number 1, and it's kind of a cheat because it's actually a turtle, but I loved it and I thought it was great. My number 1 favorite Ninja Turtle toy was
Yosoki Jimbo.
No, the Raphael that would transform into the little toy turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I did was I had a lizard.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I had a fucking CD. He was a bearded dragon. His name was CD. And what I did was I took Raphael, made him look like a turtle, and then I put him in CD's cage. And so I had a pet turtle.
Mm-hmm.
But then every once in a while, when people be like, "Oh, what's that turtle?" You open it up, it's fucking Raph.
Back to my list.
Yeah.
About toys I wish I had. I had a lot of Ninja Turtles. Here's 2 that I never did.
Yeah.
The Krang body.
Yeah,
which I think they put out late in the series.
That's
out of nowhere, and maybe some people saw it. I never saw it.
When I was doing research
in real life.
When I was doing research, that's one of the most expensive to. If you have it today, you can sell it for.
Oh, I bet, because it's awesome. And the Krang body ruled. Also, remember the wind up Mousers?
Yeah, I think I had some of those, but I think
I never had a wind up Mouser.
I don't think I
think
had.
You get like a pack of 2.
I don't think I had Mousers like from the toy line.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just had like off-brand built turtle Mousers.
I also wish I had like 3 foot soldiers.
Yeah, I only had one foot soldier. Me too.
But it would have been cool to have like 3
a couple of
or
them.
4.
I might have had more. I think I think so many more turtle toys are great. Those are just the 6 that, like, off the top of my head, if you were like, I'm going to stay over at Ream's house for the first time and I want him to be impressed, so I'm going to take these 6 because I feel like I can play with them the most. And I'm not an asshole. I'm not bringing a Donatello over, but those are the ones. Goddamn, what an episode.
Yeah, I think we
talked this fucker.
I could keep going.
We talked this fucker to death.
I will say, I just want to plug before we. I'll get into my plugs, but if you really want to learn more about pretty much any toy line out there, one of the best YouTube channels out there. It's called Toy Galaxy.
Toy Galaxy, baby.
It's pretty funny. guy covers like everything. They put up content like 3 times a week.
Awesome.
I highly suggest subscribing to that.
Also,
it's one of my favorite channels.
Also, subscribe to the Nostalgic Front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we're doing on there, but we have a couple videos up, so look at that.
Yep. Also, while I got this whole plug thing going, I'll plug myself.
Yeah, baby.
With action figures like Patrick used to. No,
oh, shove it in my ass.
Yeah, that joke
I got
earlier.
you. No, I got it.
But no, check out Ream on the internet.
REAMKORE.
That's where you'll find shit about me and stuff I think. I'll post action figure stuff sporadically throughout my life. So
for sure.
Check that out. Also, House of Bricks Comedy, second Friday of every month. Me, Gideon Hambright, and Hannah Boone bring 4 of our favorite comics in the city.
God damn. Fucking fantastic, Ream. Listeners, you can follow me at Patrick Hasty. That's at PATRICKHASTIE, PatrickHasty.com for all upcoming shows and dates. Check out Jackknife Comedy the first Saturday of every month. We got a bunch of really great ones coming up. Also, this is on the horizon. It's a little ways away, but if you're a fan of my comedy, in April, I'm going to be doing a week at the Creek in the Cave, the first week of April 1st through the 6th. Also, I'm going to be in Minneapolis at the Comedy Corner Underground. Now, that's a show I would really like to push. So if you listen to this show and you know anybody in Minneapolis, send them my way, or look at the post on the internet, because I have tickets. I'd love them to buy it to come out to that show, because that'll be a great one. Also, the podcast, you guys are doing great. iTunes reviews, Stitcher reviews. Get on the Patreon. So many of you patrons are so great to us. If anybody is listening and they like the show and they're like, I don't know, throw us $1, throw us $2. That would mean a lot. It helps build us, and it just makes us feel so much. Literally, we love all of you. If you give us $10 a month, you get to pick fun-size episodes. You get to see live video of some of the episodes and special stuff like that. So jump on there. It's so cool. Patreon.com/nostalgicfront. Tell your friends, be cool, never die, and as always, remember, if you're not an NFer,
you're an MFer.
So get the fuck out of here.
Welcome to BrainMachineNetwork.com.